Alright, we are now live on YouTube. Start streaming on Rumble. Start the music. Good morning, hello, and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is about what happened to date throughout the annals of recorded history. Join us as we delve into yesteryear, not only for interesting and important happenings, but to possibly even answer questions you do not know you have. The sources of our information come from the website onthisday.com and the smart device applications Historical Calendar and Today in History. For links to these sources and anything else potentially interesting, please check the underbar of the description below. And all links scattered throughout the show will appear post-live stream as per usual. Anyway, I am A.O. Xander.
King's Refuge.
And we will be getting joined by the Loon at some point, and in an unprecedented turn of events, my webcam is disabled and King's is on, so at least you can still see one of our bright and shiny faces. And of course, you here are you. Thank you very much for watching, whether you're watching live or at some point in the space-time continuum later on than when we're actually recording. Today is, what is today? Friday, Freya's Day, June 14th, 2024. So let's jump into the history today, shall we? Would you like to start us off, good sir, in 1206?
All right, 1206, Chinese Southern Song Dynasty officially declares war on the Northern Jin Dynasty.
Ah, war. War that never changes. Unless it does.
What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Say it again, yeah.
All right, 1276, while taking exile in Fuzhou, southern China, from advancing Mongol invaders, remnants of the Song Dynasty court hold coronation ceremony for young Prince Zhao Xing, making him Emperor Dongzong of Song.
Huh. Well, from the sound of it, from 1206 to 1276, so 70 years on the day, it doesn't sound like the Song Dynasty ended up on the top part of that war. Because, you know, like, we have Chinese Southern Song Dynasty declares war, and then over here, remnants of the Song Dynasty. Doesn't sound like it went out too well. Yeah. Anyway, we have a third one here.
Third one here, the explorer Abedin Bata begins his travels, leaving his home in Tangiers to travel to Mecca. Gone for 24 years.
What year did that take place in?
1325.
Thank you. And that's interesting. Like, so Mecca, we all know that that's somewhere. Like, that's in. I don't want to say Saudi Arabia, but it's somewhere out there, right? Like,
yeah.
Because you know the Hajj, the Hajis, you know, like the Arabs, they do the pilgrimage, the Hajj, all the way to Mecca. Where is Mecca? Where is Mecca? It is in Saudi Arabia. Okay, I was right.
Of course it is.
All right. And welcome to the show, good sir. You are?
Golden Loon.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, my webcam is once again not working, but good old King, his is on. So at least they can see one of our faces. So moving on up to 1381, Richard II of England met leaders of the Peasants' Revolt on Blackheath. The Tower of London was stormed by rebels who entered without resistance. That's pretty big. So the Tower of London was their, like, you know, essentially their capital. Yeah. Like, that was the place.
What year is this again? I'm sorry.
1381.
Okay.
So, and he's addressing the peasants here. Wat Tyler lies wounded behind him. Illustration from a medieval manuscript. So we have a guy on the ground over here. That's not good. But yeah, like, you know, you have to talk to the people. Like, otherwise they won't have you anymore. So, 1597 at 4:30 in the morning, and that's surprising. Like, you know, sometimes we have like actual times, or at least it says at the times. You know, like think about 1597. That's a long time ago. How do we know when it was? You know, obviously it documented it for whatever reason at 4:30 in the morning. Anyway, Dutch explorer William Barents left Novaya Zemlya on his third Arctic expedition to return to the Netherlands, though he did die on the return voyage.
That's not good.
No. But we're going to be talking about a mutiny later on today at some point. Yeah, that's even worse.
Really?
Yeah. 1615, Dutch mariner Jacques Lemaire set sail from Texel, North Holland, to find a new route to the Pacific and the Spice Islands and the southern continent, Terra Australis.
Yeah. Who is that again? Would you say that again?
Explorer William Barents.
No, the way you said it the first time. You destroyed his name. Anyway, go ahead. I'm kidding.
Oh wait, no, that was something else. Jacques Le Marais.
There you go.
Sorry, I was reading the wrong one. Dutch mariner Jacques Le Marais. Well, I mean, you pronounce it better.
No way.
So let me
I'm
get this
just here
straight.
to torment.
So you can't say it better, but you give me shit for.
Absolutely right.
Oh, of course.
Now you get it.
Yeah. Should have known. Anyway, but that's interesting. You know, Terra Australis. That's the inspiration for how Australia got its name, because that was a new continent. They already thought that there was a continent down there. They called it Terra Australis, and then it became Australia, named after Terra Australis.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I never knew that either.
Yeah. 1623, we have the first breach of promise lawsuit. Reverend Gerville Pooley of Virginia filed against Cicely Jordan. He lost. All right. The first breach of promise lawsuit, so, you know, in documented history at least. What do we got in 1642, good sir?
1642, first compulsory education law in America passed by Massachusetts.
All right. So, like it's a lot. Like, compulsory is not mandatory, right? It's like, you know, you can.
No, it is mandatory.
Oh, okay. So you're mandated to. That's weird. Why don't they just call it mandated? Because compulsory sounds you have an option whether or not you want to go, but it's actually a mandate.
Yeah.
So you're by law you have to go to school. And that makes me wonder why are they wanting people to go to school so much? You know, back then it was legitimate. They wanted people to be educated, but I don't know when the turn was made to turn it from actual education into brainwashing. You know,
well, yeah, there's a debate for you.
I mean, like, you know, like look at the United States. Like children are mandated by law to go to school. Okay, that's all cool and all, but most people can't afford a proper education, so they just so happen to go into schools that are owned and operated by the same people who make the laws mandating. That's a little self-serving, don't you think?
A bit.
You know? So. Anyway, what do we have just 3 years later?
1645, Battle of Naseberry, Leicestershire. New model army under Oliver Cromwell and Thomas Fairfax beat royalist forces of English Charles I.
Ooh. And is it just me, or I've been calling this guy Pencilhead because his head looked like a pencil. I mean, like, look at him. Like, you know, his face is like, you know, the shaved off part, and his chin beard is like, you know, the lead.
Yeah, well,
like,
he's got a sharp pencil, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has. Like, it's like, you know, he can write with that chin of his. I mean, there's another guy I call Thimblehead. It looks like he's wearing a thimble, you know, for a hat.
I vaguely remember that reference from somewhere in the past. I remember you calling someone Thimblehead, yeah, and it kind of fit.
Well, he looks like he's wearing a thimble. So, 1671. This is a long one here. This is
1671. French officer Simon Francois Dumont de Saint-Lusson, get a shorter name, takes possession of France, of Lake Huron and Superior, and all the other contiguous and adjacent countries, rivers, lakes, and streams, here both discovered and yet to be discovered, at Assembly of 14th Memorandum Nations at Sault Ste. Marie. Yeesh, that was a long one.
Yeah. That's interesting. Like, it's just like, I claim all these lands, both seen and unseen, for France. It's like, wow, okay. How can you claim something that you don't know even if it exists? Like,
mine.
Yeah. 1775, the U.S. Army first formed as the Continental Army to fight the American Revolutionary War. Happy birthday, Continental Army, U.S. Army. Well, yeah. And we also have 1776, another birthday for something involving the U.S. The U.S. Continental Congress adopted the Stars and Stripes flag designed by Francis Hopkins, replacing the Grand Union flag. So happy birthday, American flag. Good old Stars and Stripes. Which July 4th is coming up here pretty quick. We're in June 14th. So are you prepared for Independence Day, KR?
Heck yeah, dude. Can't wait to blow some stuff up. I'm American.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we've been hearing fireworks every now and then, actually. Like, just the other night, like, I heard a firework, you know, go off, because, like you know, some of those, like, have the trailing, like, it goes boom, and then the, you know, like, I heard that, and then like several hours later, I was in bed, and I heard another one, and then shortly after that, it has to have been a cop car or something. It was in the neighborhood, and I just heard a whoop whoop whoop, and then that was it. Like they just like almost as if it was a warning, like, hey, don't launch any more fireworks here. We're in the area, and we'll know where you're at, because there was a helicopter flying around and all that stuff. The Luna heard it too.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
They became legal here in Iowa about 3 or 4 years ago, but they limit it to January 1st and 4th of July. So
January 1st. Why?
July 1st.
Well, just the new year.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I got you.
For some reason, my brain was thinking January was June. I'm like, what the hell has happened in June? I'm an idiot. We already know that. But yeah, no, like you missed out when you went AFK for a second there. But 1775, U.S. Army first formed as the Continental Army to fight the American Revolution. So happy birthday, U.S. Army.
Yeah.
And just 2 years later, 76, U.S. Continental Congress adopted the Stars and the Stripes flag.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah. So happy birthday, our Army and our flag. So, anyway, moving on up to 1789, Captain William Bligh and his loyal men were cast off from HMS Bounty. They reached Timor after sailing 5,800 kilometers in a 6-meter launch. So a 6-meter launch is the boat. So it was right here. Lieutenant William Bligh was set adrift by the mutineers aboard the HMS Bounty on April 28, 1789. So I believe this is when they reached it. Yeah. Yeah, because that was April, and this is April, May, June. So between April 28th until June 14th, they were set adrift on a rowboat, essentially. So, yeah. From mutiny. So that's some hard stuff right there. And then 1797, Napoleon formed the Ligurian Republic. What the heck is Ligurian Republic? Here we go with the old Napoleon guy. Let's see. It was a French client republic formed by Napoleon, yada yada. It consisted of the old Republic of Genoa, which covered most of the Ligurian region of northwest Italy, and the small imperial fiefs owned by the House of Savoy inside its territory. So, it's Italy. That's right. So, this is after Napoleon conquered Italy, and he was putting in some kind of puppet government or something. So that's what the Ligurian Republic is his control over Italy, or at least northern Italy. So, actually, there's a trailer, Napoleon. It's really powerful. I know this is no, I want Total War. Napoleon Total War trailer. Yeah, here it is. So, this is I like this trailer, so I'm just gonna play it really quick just to show the attitude of Napoleon and everything.
Napoleon.
Here you go.
My enemies are many. My equals are none. In the shade of olive trees, they said Italy could never be conquered.
And he conquered Italy. Napoleon was a force, dude.
In the land of pharaohs and kings, they said Egypt could never be humbled.
Conquered Egypt.
In the realm of forest and snow, they said Russia could never be tamed.
Well, didn't fully conquer Russia, but he got close. Closest
now
one.
They say nothing. They fear me, like a force of nature, a dealer in thunder and death.
And that's all I'm gonna post or play. I'm probably already breaching copyright because of that, but it just. Can you imagine, he took over France, and the entirety of Europe went against him. Not France went against him specifically. He conquered Italy, Egypt, Russia. This guy, powerful.
Well, he's well known in history for that very reason.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on up to 1807. We have some more Napoleon for our own king here to read us about.
Good segue.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you just said good segue.
1807, Emperor Napoleon First, the French Grande Armée defeats the Russian army at the Battle of Friedland in Prussia, more modern Russia, Kaliningrad Oblast, ending War of the Fourth Coalition.
Yep. And
was there another Napoleon?
Well, this is Napoleon the First. That is Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon the First, because there was like a second and a third and all that stuff. You know, he did have lineage and everything. But, but yeah, no, like, and right there, as I was saying, the Fourth Coalition. That was the fourth time Europe as a whole, all the nations not under his rule, like, were all like, well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
So that was, you know, like the first, second, third, and fourth coalition were all Europe coalitions. They tried 4 times at least, you know, up to this point, maybe more. I don't know. But can you imagine 4 times Europe went to war with one man and lost all 4 times?
Every time, yeah.
Like this guy is incomprehensibly, like, how, like, yikes. And then we give France shit all the time for being, you know, like frog eating surrender monkeys. They were gods at one point. Like, so anyway, what do we got here in 1821?
Yeah, 1821, Badi the Seventh, King Sennar, surrenders his throne and realm to Ismail Pasha, general of the Ottoman Empire, bringing the 300-year-old Sudasi kingdom to an end.
Ooh. Yeah. 3-century-old empire gone.
They were a major reign.
Sudanese, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
at one time.
Yeah. And you got another one here. Babbage's difference engine. That's
1822, Charles Babbage proposes a difference engine in a paper to the Royal Astronomical Society entitled Note on the Application of Machinery to the computation of astronomical and mathematical tables.
Huh, so it sounds like an analog computer of sorts.
Yeah.
Difference engine.
I don't know what, yeah.
Babbage's difference engine. Alright, let's difference engine. Here we go. The difference engine is an automatic mechanical calculator designed to tabulate polynomial functions. It was designed in the 1820s. It was first created by Charles Babbage. The name difference engine is derived from the method of divided differences, a way to interpolate or tabulate functions by using a small set of polynomial coefficients. Some of the most common mathematical functions used in engineering, science, and navigation are built from logarithmic and trigonometric functions, which can be approximated by polynomials. So a difference engine can compute many useful tables. So it is an analog computer, essentially. An automatic abacus, maybe.
All I can say is sometimes paragraphs make me feel stupid.
I'm not going to comment.
Thank you. Thank you for taking it easy on me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have done the same. I'm not sure.
Well, I know on the court you wouldn't.
Oh, that's for sure.
You'll be dunking over my head all the time. You know? So, that's you know, that's astounding. Like, you know. What else do we have here? Moving on up to 1834, hard hat diving suit patented by Leonard Necross of Dixfield, Maine.
Ooh,
huh.
That's kind of cool. Diving bell.
Hard hat diving suit.
Well, isn't that part of it? The diving bell part of it?
Well, that gets you down, but this is an actual suit. I think this is what it. This.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With the diving bell, that's the primary part of that.
Not necessarily. Like, I guess for certain depths, like when you really get down to like pressurized things, you know, you have the bell, and that was like a form of compression chamber or
yeah,
whatever.
Sure.
But no, but there's like you can that's
it's a suit that allows you to breathe and be comfortable underwater to a certain degree,
yes,
certain depth.
Yeah.
Obviously not to the deep depths, but
yeah.
That hadn't come about yet.
I don't think we were going that deep. That required a bell.
Saying.
You know, actually, that's a good idea. When was the diving bell invented? Diving bell. Okay, why don't you tell me? Just give me a freaking date. Okay, the diving bell is one of the earliest types of equipment for underwater work and exploration. Its use was first described by Aristotle in the 4th century BC. In 1819, Augustus Siebe invented an open diving suit which only covered the top portion of the body. Okay, so that's 1819, and we're talking about 1834. Oh. Well, the diving bell was around. Like, you're right, but like that's for like deeper. I don't know. Like, I might be talking completely out of my butt. I don't know.
It's just interesting.
Yeah. Well, here's something else interesting. 1834 as well. Sandpaper was patented by Isaac Freya Jr. in Springfield, Vermont.
Huh. That's a neat little tribute to,
Yeah.
one of those non-important facts, but yet very important.
Well, as I say, answer questions you don't even know you have. It's like, when was sandpaper invented? Now you know. All the way back in 18...
How did they file their fingernails?
Just on rocks, I guess?
I don't know.
If they did, maybe they'd shoot them? Like, I don't know. That is another good question. 1839, the first Henley Regatta was held. It became the Henry Royal Regatta in 1851. So like a dance or some kind of like...
Regatta, that's
a regatta,
ships.
yeah. Like just... Like is it a race or something? Or
He sounds like that to me.
what is a regatta? What is a regatta?
I think it's a race. A fancy boat race.
Boat racing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There we go. You guys were right. 1841, we have the first Canadian Parliament opened in Kingston, Ontario. Hey, look at that.
There you go.
Yeah. And then let's see here. I'm going to take 1846 just because it's my neck of the woods. California, the Bear Flag Republic was proclaimed in Sonoma, declaring independence from Mexico.
Oh,
Hey.
that's Northern California, Sonoma.
Ah. Yeah, no, Mexico, like, as most people know, like, it had Texas, it had New Mexico, Arizona,
The
and...
good portion of California.
Well, the majority... Actually, I think all of California, I think the Mexican Empire stretched all the way up into Oregon.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing a map of that was the original territory of Mexico.
Yeah. And to quote, I think it was Gabriel Iglesias, a.k.a. Fluffy, that like he made some joke, like, at the time. It was like, it's not that they crossed the border crossed them. It did for those guys back then.
Yeah.
But 1847, Sir King, this one's pretty revolutionary in the fields of science.
1847, Robert Bunsen invents the Bunsen burner.
Bunsen burner,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the little flame at the bottom, like when you're mixing whatever, science, chemistry.
If you ever took chemistry in school, you no doubt used a Bunsen burner.
Yeah. That just reminds me of when you were in a museum and you saw your dad's lab, there, and he's still using equipment, at the time.
It was a today laboratory and an old laboratory, and they're both set up next to each other. And I'm going, that's my dad's lab, the old one.
Yeah, but who's still actively using,
Yeah.
1861.
1861's Confederates burned the B&O Railroad Bridge and the U.S. Armory buildings at Harper's Ferry before evacuating in a face of General George McClellan's advance.
Yeah, so they were scorched earthing, making sure that the enemy coming wasn't going to make use of anything. I realized, though, speaking of burning, we skipped over 1850 here.
Oh, yeah. 1850, third Great Fire of early San Francisco starts in a bakery chimney.
Well, they baked the city.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Pays to have a chimney cleaner.
Yeah.
1861, that's red. 1870, All-Pro Cincinnati Red Stockings suffer first loss in 130 games.
That is
Woo!
one hell of a streak. I don't think it's ever been beaten.
I like the name Red Stockings.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Before
crazy.
we start calling them socks.
Yeah. Well, the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Red Sox, Black Sox, White
Red
Sox,
Sox are
Red
in
Sox.
Cincinnati, so.
Yeah. Well, they just changed the name. They went from Red Stockings to Red Sox because we stopped calling socks stockings.
And now they call them just the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, okay. And there's another word for pants, aka pantaloons. There's a style of pants.
Yeah.
It starts with a K that I'm really happy that we're no longer using. So.
Oh.
Don't say it.
Why not?
Well, because they'll think that we're saying another word, and I don't want to deal with the backlash of that.
Oh.
So, but yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah.
No.
I know, right? What do we got here in 1876? That's actually. Wait. Is that the right? Actually, no. Hold on a second. 1872. Sorry, I need to slow down. So.
1872 trade unions are legalized in Canada.
Ah.
Boy, that's really late.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. We have a sports one here.
1876, first player to hit or cycle. George Hall, Philadelphia athlete.
Yeah, the line.
Now,
The line.
Alex, tell me
Question
what a
mark?
cycle is, would you please?
Yeah, what is that?
Like a bicycle?
Come on, you know this. We've been through this.
What, a single, triple, double, single, double, triple home run? Is that?
Yes, he hit for the cycle.
I
He hit
was
a-
legitimately
he hit a
guessing.
single, hit a double, hit a triple, and then hit a home run. There you go. He hit for the cycle, or as you put it, the line.
Well, because I'm stupid.
I love it.
I am sports wise ignorant, like to an extreme level. But anyway, 1876 here as well. California Street Cable Card Railroad Company got its franchise. So you know the cable cars.
Yeah,
We've been on them a couple times.
yeah, many times.
Yeah. 1881, player piano was patented by John McTammany Jr. or Tammany Jr. in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Good old, automatic, like, I guess that would be the first iTunes question mark. Like, you put in 99 cents, you get a free song, or not really free song, but you get a song
Yeah.
or whatever
yeah,
it was.
Maybe.
It played automatically. So. In 1898, the Niger Convention signed in Paris by France and Great Britain agreeing to the partition of West Africa. So here we go again, Europeans meddling.
Carving up the planet.
Yeah. I mean, like all of the stuff, like certain communities and whatnot, utilized as a basis to explain why they believe and they do what they do are very valid. Like, they're I mean, like the Middle East and everything, Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, like all that stuff that was all divided like centuries ago, and it just caused even more destabilization. Just stop meddling with other people's affairs. It's that simple, Like you have your own thing, they have their own thing. You can work together, but stop, interfering.
Good advice.
So
Yeah.
1900, having been annexed to the USA on August 12th in 1898, Hawaii was constituted as an organized territory. And yeah, what we did to
What year did it become a state?
when was Hawaii?
Don't look it up.
Well, I know you already know.
That's why I'm asking you. I'm testing you. We had this not too long ago.
Yeah, no, you looked it up. What was it? 1948? No, 1958?
59.
59. Okay. Yeah. All I know is Alaska and Hawaii weren't states when you were born.
That's right. They weren't. I remember
Yeah.
when they became states.
Yeah.
Both in 59.
You're aging yourself there.
Well, I'm old. What can I tell you?
Yeah.
No changing that.
Yeah. No, you're just older.
As my brother said when my mother and father had passed away, he says, well, now when the kids talk about one of the old folks coming, they're talking about us.
Oh, God. Also in 1900, the Reichstag approved a second law that allows the expansion of the German Navy. We were talking about that just the other day. That was your article, I believe, Kate. So, back then, the other day, talking about the German Navy.
Oh, yeah.
But 1904, this one's rough.
1904, Dutch troops occupy Coupray Cemetery, killing all inhabitants.
Sumatra, yeah.
Jeez.
Yikes.
There's usually a number behind that. It doesn't usually say all. God.
Yeah, they don't even need to figure out how many. Just everybody, they all died, and not just the men, but the women and the children. I also hate sand. Ooh,
It gets everywhere.
yeah, it's coarse. But 1907.
1907, government of Transvaal sends home 50,000 Chinese day workers.
Wow. That's a lot. Huh.
Sure.
And while that was going on, the same day, same year, Norway does something really cool.
Norway adopts female suffrage for the middle class women only in parliamentary election.
Hey, you know, they're going in the right direction, so let's give them a little cheer here. Good on Norway.
And women are still suffering today.
Yeah, I'm all against, you know, the suffering of anybody.
Sure.
You know, women, men, children, any ethnicity, nobody should be suffering, you know? We have the technology. Moving on up into 1908, here we go again. The fourth German Navy bill was passed, authorizing the financing of the building of another 4 major warships. Germany, what, like, I wonder what they're doing. Huh, gee. 1913, a funeral for Emily Davidson included a procession of 6,000 suffragists in London, England.
Jeez.
And Emily Davidson was a suffragette, so she was one of the big names back then. So obviously, like, you know, they were mourning one of their more prolific leaders at the time.
Yeah, I've never heard of her.
Well, that's what the system is trying to do. They're trying to erase history, and in hopes of causing all the ignorance, maybe they might. I mean, there's already, like, I've talked to more than a handful of women personally who are against, what was it, the 18th? The 15th? There's so many amendments, I can't remember them all.
I don't
But,
know.
like,
I
but
don't
whatever the amendment was that allowed women to vote,
Yeah.
they're against it.
What?
Yeah. And it blows my mind. Like, but you're one of them. How can you be against your right to vote? You know, it's like, oh,
What's
well,
their answer?
I don't even want to repeat what their answer is because it's awful.
Okay.
Like, well, you know, because I don't want to be taken out of context and have people thinking that I'm saying that.
Fair enough.
You know, but they're saying some really misogynistic things, if I may put a label on what they say. You know, and it's coming from women, and it's blowing my mind. It's like, this is your right to vote. Why are you against it? And they're saying things like, oh, well, you know, they're just voting for the cutest guy, or it's just a popularity contest like it's high school. They're not doing research. You know, they're just going by. But it's just like,
it is the popularity contest.
It is, unfortunately,
for everybody.
And, you know, I can't disagree with anything that they say. It's just disgusting, you know?
A turning point in time as far as election was Kennedy ran against Nixon for the presidency. And what was it? It was really the first year, it wasn't the first, but when TV was used extensively. And it was the first year they had TV debates. Who looked better on TV?
The actor.
Crazy looking Nixon,
I am not a
or
crook.
the good-looking guy Kennedy, and
Yeah.
it turned the whole election towards Kennedy.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's
Yeah.
popularity,
Yeah,
good
they-
looks.
Yeah.
He was. I'm not saying who was the better candidate. It was just more TV got involved at that point. It wasn't the first time for TV, but for debates.
There's a video out there of Nixon, like, playing a piano or something. Like, Nixon playing instrument. I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, playing a piano.
He played the piano.
Yeah, on the...
Mr. Nixon
Yeah.
plays the piano.
Hey, let me fast forward this little bit here.
They should have something. They should have a piano or something. Look at that mugshot. That didn't come over well on TV.
Well, he has a nose like a witch. This just blew my mind when I first saw him. Like,
Yeah, no
Nixon
kidding.
plays a
I had
piano?
no idea.
What the hell? So, yeah. Anyway, getting back on track here, 1913, the South African government passed the Immigration Act, which restricted the entry and free movement of Asians. It led to widespread agitation and rioting by resident Asians, led by Gandhi. I agree. That should not have been a thing.
Absolutely shouldn't.
Like, you shouldn't be restricting anything. Like, you know, we're all people. You know? Oh. But then, in 1916, the Democratic Convention convenes in St. Louis. Woodrow Wilson campaigned on the slogan, "He kept out of the war." Well, Woodrow Wilson, you piece of filth.
Yeah.
You garbage. You're the one who
Garbage.
brought in the Federal Reserve and the IRS. May you rot in hell next to Hitler and freaking
Right.
what's his face, Thomas Alva
I'll be right
Edison.
back.
What?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Moving on up into 1916 as well, representatives of 8 allied nations held an economic conference in Paris at which they discussed ways to cripple their enemy's economic power during and after the war. So they are already preconceiving what they eventually did to Germany.
Yeah.
Like, that's evil. It's things like that that make me think, were we on the right side? You know, it's one thing to want to cripple your enemy's economic thing. Okay, during a war, okay, fine. But afterward, now you're just kicking a horse when it's down. Stop it.
Well, yeah, they did cripple Germany completely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
all they did was validate everything Hitler said.
And that's why that opened the door for Hitler to come to power and come back.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If they weren't such just revenge evils, then there would not have been a ground for all of that to happen.
Simultaneously, I mean, it was, you talk about World War I had to be just god awful, but World War II is no picnic. But World War I, oh my God, with gassing and the hatred towards one another was just massive, I would think. So it's hard to say now what the proper response was for after that war. Was it correct or not? It's hard for us to say in our world.
Yeah. Now there is a video I want to show. I'm gonna purposefully just let's see here. I'm gonna go to the last part here, but I want to show you guys the whole video at some point. But this part is really.
What was the movie that was all through the trenches? That guy.
1917.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, 1917.
Oh,
That was a great
incredible
movie. Yeah, but let me play this section here.
Finally, the Allies got some traction, putting the Germans out of action. At 11 a.m. on the 11th of November, the guns fell silent upon German surrender. All in all, a tragic loss. Europe secured, but at what cost? A generation lost. We are forever in debt. 100 years hence, lest we forget.
The poppies, the first flowers to, show. I mean, a generation lost.
Yep.
I just, I'm feeling a cold wave wash over me, and 100 years, over 100 years since, and people are just forgetting about the grand sacrifice of these people, dying in hundreds of thousands for just inches of ground.
Yep. That's why it's so brutal.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I wanna show this to you guys after the show because this is really good. But anyway, moving on up to 1917. Here we have the first German air attack on England. 100 plus killed were killed in East London. So dropping bombs from the dirigibles and everything.
Didn't they originally drop them by hand?
Yes.
Out of the cockpit, yeah.
Well, yes, but that was more short range. They used the big blimps to bomb London, to fly over the channel and everything, because aviation technology, I don't think at the time was strong enough to even cross the channel.
Let alone back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they did have air refueling back then. I mean, here, let me see here. Oops, that was the wrong button. Let's see here. World War I air refueling. It's such a wild photo here. They have a biplane refueling another biplane. Look at that.
Yeah.
Aerial refueling during World War I.
Wow.
That's wild. Actually, now wait a minute. That plane is not World War I.
That's way too. I was just gonna say that's way too modern down there. I don't know what.
Yeah,
that
no,
is.
but this is more. Okay, that's more.
There
like
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Well, that's a little too modern. Here, but this is the picture specifically I was thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But can you imagine? With zero computation, you have to just eyeball it and measure the speed because you both have to be at the same speed.
And the currents could affect planes so much more in that day. Just the currents up there could move you around.
Oh yeah. So
that had to be a feat.
Oh yeah. 1917 as well. General Pershing and his headquarters staff arrived in Paris during World War I. Pershing was, I believe, ours. So that was the U.S.'s involvement.
Yep.
So, 1919, we have the first nonstop air crossing of Atlantic. Alcock and Brown left Newfoundland. So I may be wrong, because that's nonstop air crossing of the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Just 1919, just 1 year after the end of the war. So maybe they had biplanes that could cross the channel to bomb. Maybe you were right. Like, I do know that the Germans used like the dirigibles and all that stuff to bomb, but I believe maybe you were right as well with the normal biplane aircraft and everything. Anyway, 1922, U.S. President Warren G. Harding was the first U.S. president to use the radio, dedicated the Francis Scott Key Memorial in Baltimore. That's pretty cool. 1 year later, 1923, recording of first country music hit, Little Old Log Cabin in the Lane. Huh.
Don't remember that one.
That's surprising.
Thanks.
But now that Sir King is back, you want to take 1928 here?
1928, Republican National Convention meeting in Kansas City nominates Herbert Hoover for president.
Ah, Hoover.
Yeah.
And hello, Silent Storm. Welcome to the show. Commenting on the YouTube side over here. So,
Welcome.
yeah. 1931.
1931, French steamer St. Philbert overturns off of St. Nazaire, France, drowning 450 people.
Yikes.
Oof.
This is why you don't overload boats, guys.
Yeah.
And I just have to say, the Nazarene has one of the best big waves, or the biggest big waves in the world.
Huh.
Just a little side note for the Nazarene.
Well, I mean, you would know. You are their surfer guy.
Oh, I'm never there.
Yeah. You should tell the story about how you almost died one time. Or one of the times you almost died.
Yeah, move on.
No, not right now, but I mean on the talk show.
I didn't come close to dying, but that's beside the point.
Well, no, I'm talking about when you almost crashed into those rocks that one time.
Yeah.
Well, you just skated over it because of a wave, but if you weren't where you're at, exactly positioned, if things hadn't played out exactly like that, you probably would have been minced.
I would have been in bigger trouble than I was in.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Move on.
What do we have in 1933? Here we go.
1933, MLB Lou Gehrig and Joe McCarthy thrown out of game. McCarthy suspended for 3 games, but Gehrig isn't, so he continues his streak at 1,249 games.
Huh.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Or the day before, whenever.
So that sucks that if you get thrown out, that technically ends your streak.
No, because he was in the game.
Yeah, but it says here, but Greg wasn't. Okay, so he continued.
Yeah, he wasn't suspended. He was kicked out of that game, though.
Oh, okay,
But not
okay.
suspended.
Okay, McCarthy
He
was
still
okay.
played that game.
All
He
right.
just was kicked out.
Yeah, if you're a pinch hitter and you go up to bat one time, say, that's a pinch hitter,
Okay.
you were in the game.
Okay.
Your streak would be alive.
Okay. And Silent Storm is saying, nice to be here with you guys again. Yeah, nice for you to be here. Thank you. But yeah, no, if you have any questions, comments, or anything, feel free to say anything. I am doing my best to engage the audience, and as I'm actively looking at comments on Rumble as well. What else do we got here? This is a bad one here in 1936. Ugh.
1936, Oranienburg concentration camp opens in Germany.
Yeah.
Oof.
Gotta take the bad with the good, though. If we're not going to repeat the mistakes we did in the past, we got to keep those mistakes alive to learn from them.
Open for business.
Yep. But here we go. Chlorophyll.
Ooh. What does it have to say?
I think this is another King's article here.
1938, chlorophyll, patented by Benjamin Prushkin.
What's chlorophyll? Or that's the stuff in the plants that allows them to that's the green stuff, right?
But what is that?
But
No,
how can
the
you patent
chlorophyll is what puts you to sleep.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking.
It is?
The stuff
What
they
you're saying
stuff
is
they
not
put in
quite
rags, put you to sleep
chlorophyll,
with.
The word derives out of that.
Paint thinner?
Pale green.
Kinda? Maybe? I
Chlorophyll
don't know.
allows plants to absorb energy from light. So
Oh.
Okay, you're right. Then we're thinking of something else entirely.
you're thinking
Oh, yeah,
of
we're-
like what's the stuff that you put on the
Yeah,
rag?
yeah. Isn't that chloroform?
No, it's not.
I thought it was chloroform.
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 There we go.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, we're a bunch of idiots, but we got it.
Well, you got the chlor right.
We were half right.
Yeah. I know, like I remember chlorophyll because from what was it, that Adam Sandler movie where he had to go back to 4th grade or go back
Chlorophyll, borophyll.
Exactly, yeah, I remember that scene. He was talking about chlorophyll being, go figure, I remember science from an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh man.
That exemplifies my idiocy. But yeah, no, that's what allows. Well, that's what gives plants their green.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah,
that's what
you're
that's
right, absolutely.
The absorption of turning light into energy. Anyway, 1938, Dorothy Lathrop won the first Caldecott Medal, kids book author. Cool.
The what medal?
Caldecott.
Never heard of that.
Neither have I.
Must be for kids or something.
Yeah, no, Caldecott. It's for kids book author.
Okay.
So it's a medal for authoring kids books. Here we go. 1940. We thought Auschwitz concentration and extermination camp opened in Nazi-controlled Poland with Polish prisoners of war, later expanded to include civilian Jews, Roman Catholics, Gypsies, and Soviet prisoners of war. At least 1.1 million people would die within its walls. Yuck.
And then the experiments that went along with it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize gypsies were included.
Oh no, it wasn't just the Jews. Like, and this is what really bothers me about whenever people talk about the Holocaust. It wasn't just Jews. It was the mentally deficient, the mentally retarded, like any form of Asperger's, or what we know today is
They were trying to create a pure society.
Yeah, and they were getting rid of everything, and not just the Jews,
society.
but they were going after the Gypsies. They were going after Roman Catholics. They were going after this. They're going all over. Very much like how China is doing today with native Chinese, Uyghurs, Christians, all this stuff. They're going across all these various borders. Germany did the exact same. China is mimicking Germany, like almost to a T. But instead of Jews, they're going after Muslims. So, but yeah. Anyway, while that was going on, German forces entered Paris during World War II. So yeah. And it's really interesting, actually. Hold on, let me see if I can. Germans entering Paris. Allies. Let's see if they have a side by side, because there's like a photo of that's the Allies, but they have a photo of the Germans entering Paris. That's of course the Arc de Triomphe. So that's when they took Paris, and this is when we actually, this is a more famous photograph when we took it back. This is the U.S. soldiers now in front of Arc de Triomphe. Can you imagine? Like let this sink in. Germans take over, Paris. They're on the road.
Yeah.
Same road, just 3 years later. That's astounding. That's the same road.
No, I got that. But you're looking at something starting and something ending.
Yeah.
So.
But it's just wild to think this the same road in two conquering nations, over France.
Well, we're a conquering nation.
Well, we conquered and liberated them and gave it back.
Yeah.
But we took it from, because Germany.
Well, you're right.
Because
we
Germany
conquered the German army.
Yeah. Germany conquered France, so France was now their property, and then we conquered it and gave it back to France.
Very true.
So.
Very true. But I can't look at those two pictures and say, "Wow, look at this." No, I don't get any equivalence out of that whatsoever. Any moral equivalence? No, they're completely opposite.
Well, they're both conquering. Like the picture itself.
I got what you're saying. But the moral equivalence is completely different.
I'm not comparing the moral equivalence.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, you're comparing conquerors.
Well, I'm just saying, it's a powerful picture. You have Germany, and then on the same road you have the U.S.
Okay.
Just a few years later. Anyway, what did Sir Silent Storm say? Hold on a second. Whoops, where'd it go? Here it is. For now, no, but I'm glad to see you guys again. I was part of your guild. Oh, he was part of our guild, Blonde.
Hey!
Awesome.
I wish my camera was working, but yeah, no, we have Dumb Blonde here on the right. So this is Blonde, and I'm Xander. So yeah, welcome. Let's see. Let's get back to the task at hand here. Moving on up to 1941. We have here it's up here. Estonia lost 11,000 inhabitants as a consequence of mass deportations into Siberia. Whoa, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then 1942, Let's go back to KR here.
So 1942, first bazooka rocket gun produced Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Bazookas, love them.
Yeah.
Love the
Nice.
name, bazookas.
Yeah, but this is the rocket gun, so it was a missile gun or something. But like I believe
It's a
this is
bazooka.
but this is the first edition of bazooka. It wasn't portable. It was like a mounted
wasn't
thing.
A shoulder mount.
Yeah, and I do know that the bazooka gum got its name off of something involving bazooka. I don't remember exactly what. Off of the weapon, at least. So
I think you're probably right. I can't imagine how else you'd come up with that.
bazooka gum.
Especially if it came out in the 50s or late 50s, early 50s. It would definitely be from the war.
Yeah. Bazooka, chewing, introduced blah, 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 which is a division. It is a product of Bazooka Candy Brands, which was a division of the Topps company. Okay, yada, yada, yada.
What's that, 1947? Introduced?
Bazooka is an American brand bubblegum that was introduced in
Right
1947.
after the war, so of
Yeah.
course it is after
Yeah.
the gun.
Well, like I don't remember exactly what, but it took its name because of something involving the packaging or something. I don't know. Anyway, what do we got here in 1942?
1942, Anne Frank begins writing in her diary in Dutch just 2 days after her 13th birthday.
Yep. You know, we've been the past 3 episodes. Like she got her diary like what 4 some odd days ago, and then a couple days ago we did a show, and that's when she started. Or
Yeah.
but this is when she began writing her diary. Okay. 1944. Actually, no, 1944. This one here. Sorry.
Oh yeah, 1944, first B-29 raid against mainland Japan.
Yep. Huh. Well, that's not the first time we raided Japan, though. Don't forget the Doolittle raid. But those were not B-29s, I don't think. So.
I don't know what they were. But they were on basically a suicide mission. Trying to get to China was, there's no way back really other than to try to get to China.
Used in the Doolittle raid. Doolittle raid, yada yada yada. It's not telling me what planes were used. Well, whatever. They were bombers. We know that. B-25 was yet untried in combat. So it was B-25 and these were B-29. So technically
a later
correct.
version.
Yeah.
B-29 was the next
well, that's how numbers
generation.
go.
Yeah.
You don't well, some people do, like the Xbox 360 goes back into the Xbox One. So some people don't know how to count.
Yeah.
Or like Microsoft, Windows, 9, 11, 45 and however anyway.
Star Wars.
Oh, well,
They went backwards.
Well, they started at episode 4.
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying.
So,
Then they went back.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that was the wrong button. What do we got here with Charles de Gaulle?
1944, French General Charles de Gaulle returns to France, landing in Normandy, proclaiming Bayeux in the capital of Free France.
Yeah.
Of course, he had to leave France when the Germans took over.
Yeah, well, like Charles de Gaulle was like a powerhouse. If it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for him and his efforts to encourage the resistance to happen and everything from the government in exile.
He was the head of the resistance from afar.
Yes. Like, there's a high chance that the Normandy invasions would have not worked. I would go on the limb and saying guarantee they would not have worked if it wasn't for him encouraging the France, to like do what they did. Like
he got him intel. We got him all kinds.
Well, not just that, but like just before. Because like there's a whole code, like like John has a long mustache, that was shown on the movie The Longest Day.
Okay.
That was when the resistance went in and blew up a bunch of railroad, things, like lines, and it knocked down telegraph poles in order to slow down, if not completely halt, any form of communication and reinforcement travel. You blow up the train lines, you can't move the trains, to move all the people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And with like all the flooding that Germany did in preparation of like the lowlands in Normandy, for all the paratroopers and everything, the swampy areas, that inhibited any form of movement on any side and anything. So, yeah. 1946 here, the Canadian Library Association was established, so that's pretty cool. Oh,
I wonder if that was a government thing.
well, it has to be.
Why?
Well, anything of that. Well,
Magnitude?
yeah, well, Canadian Library Association. I mean, you would have to go through government somewhere, right? Like, at least get the government's approval, not necessarily be from the government. It was a national predominantary English language association which represented 57,000 library workers across Canada. So it sounds
more of a union then.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
All right. So. Anyway, 1946 as well, Nat King Cole recorded the Christmas song written by Mel Torme and Bob Wells for the first time. Good old Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
Yep. 1949, French allied state of Vietnam was officially formed during the First Indochina War. Bao Dai was installed as emperor. So this is the actual formation of Vietnam. And that didn't last long before they plunged into civil war, did it? Because
I'm not sure how long it took. You mean with the French?
Well, yeah, well, the French formed Vietnam, but then Ho Chi Minh and everything formed North Vietnam, the communists and everything,
Sure.
and the Vietnam War started well before the U.S.'s involvement. It was France, and that was back all the way in like '56 or something. Like, hold on a second. When did the Vietnam War start?
Consider as the start the U.S.
For France, not for the U.S.
Okay,
for
there you
France.
go. Yeah.
1955.
There you go.
So for 6 years.
I'll give you kudos. You got it. You nailed it.
Well, I do know that France was involved because
No,
that's
of
why we
course
got
they
in
were.
there.
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean, you nailed the year, to the year. That to me.
Did
is
I say
getting
55? I thought I said 56
You
or
said
58.
56. That's give me to me 55, 56. You nailed it.
Yeah. But yeah, so like 6 years as a, I wouldn't say stable nation, but
Well, we
formed.
came in about, I'm going to say 62, 63 is when we really.
When did the U.S. join Vietnam?
Well, we joined earlier, but we really became ours in about 62, 63.
69. Well, the president's
No.
peaked in 69, so
Oh, well, that's way different.
yeah. When did the U.S. It's not telling me. Between the Gulf of Tonkin resolution and the U.S. presidential election in November of 64, the situation in Vietnam, so 64, 65. So let's just
A little
say
bit later. It had to be before.
10 or so years, give or take. Like,
Yeah.
so.
I remember being reported the first, and I didn't know anything about Vietnam. Obviously, nobody really heard much about it. But the first American soldier being killed over there.
Yeah,
It was news.
yeah. That was
I would
actually.
have guessed that about 62, 63.
Well, the first U.S. soldier was actually like in 56 or something, and that was.
Oh, yeah, that could have been, yeah.
Well, that was. I saw something not too long ago talking about a friendly fire incident, but to my knowledge, I also saw something else a lot longer ago about the first U.S. Soldier dying in Vietnam was like in 56, 57, 58.
As an observer or something.
But he was there, but for whatever reason, he thought it would be a good idea to yell at the NVA in French. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had
Well, of course
observers
they're gonna
that-
shoot 'em.
We had what we called observers.
Yes.
I don't know how active they were, but supposedly they weren't. But
Yeah.
who knows?
Well, we had
So,
observers in
yeah.
Iraq and Afghanistan and all that stuff before we got in there. So anyway, 1951 here we have the first commercial computer, the Univac 1, entered service at Census Bureau.
I remember the Univac.
Yeah.
I mean, not personally, but I mean, I remember of it. It
Yeah.
was called, a computer was a Univac.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like, Univac.
And they were
like,
huge. They filled a room.
Yeah. We're not getting the full scope here. We're just getting, like, some pictures of, this was, like, everything you see here.
What's in
is-
there? The
is
background
like,
is part of it, too. Like, all of
Yeah.
the background is all part of it.
Yeah, this is all, like, data, punch cards, all that stuff. Like, hold on a second. Let's see here. Gigabytes then versus now. Like, let's see if I can see this picture. Like, hold on a second. Meme? Maybe? There's a picture. Anyway, like I've referenced this before, but there's this picture of like this huge block of of a computer section. There's something being loaded into like this double door entry into a building, and it says like, oh, this is 1 gigabyte. or whatever.
Okay.
Or one,
whatever it would have been.
1 megabyte or
Yeah,
whatever the
whatever.
smaller
Yeah,
byte is.
yeah.
It is one of those, and then it shows a picture of like a thumb drive. This is like 5 terabytes.
Yeah.
It's like, holy crap, Batman. Oh. Anyway, what do we got here in 1952?
1952, Boston's brave Warren Sappang ties NL record held by Jim Whitney with 18 strikeouts against the Cubs in 15 innings.
Ooh, that's a lot of strikeouts.
Warren Spahn was a great pitcher, but I thought it was the Milwaukee Braves, not the Boston Braves.
Well, apparently,
And that maybe is my bad.
maybe he might
I could
have
have sworn
been.
it was the Milwaukee Braves.
Well, maybe he might have been
Before-
on that team
and
at
then-
some point.
And then
But,
Milwaukee moved to Atlanta, and now they're the Atlanta Braves.
huh.
But back in that day, I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe they were in Boston in that day, and I don't remember.
Well, were the Braves ever in Milwaukee? Let's see.
Oh, of course they were. But when? What years?
When were the Braves in Milwaukee? 53 to 59.
So it was
And
the year
this is-
before they went there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I just didn't realize it.
So
But
you
they-
were right, just wrong time.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were in Boston.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't that old at 52.
And you keep mispronouncing Boston. you gotta say Boston here,
So let's
Boston
see.
here.
At 6 years old, I didn't realize that the Boston Braves were there.
Hey, you're remembering something from your 6 years old? You know, that's 71 years
Well,
or
that's
whatever.
70. The next year was 7.
Yeah.
So then I started remembering.
Yeah.
And yet I can't forget you.
Well, I won't let you forget me.
Sorry, I can't help it. It's just the zings are there.
Yeah.
Trash talk is my life.
Yeah.
Move on.
What do we got here in 52?
All right, 1952, keel laid for the first nuclear-powered sub, USS Nautilus, fourth to be named Nautilus.
Huh. That's interesting. So they had surface ships named Nautilus? I mean, that would make sense. So,
I guess.
I do know that the Enterprise has always been the name of a ship since the very beginning of the formation of our country. We've always had a USS Enterprise.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, you know, that's why, like, in Star Trek, they named it that, because, like, the original USS Enterprise served in the Revolution, I believe, as a, wooden sailing boat. And today, the Enterprise is an aircraft carrier. CV. Yeah, images. USS Enterprise CV-6. So, yeah, this is today, I believe, what the Enterprise is. So, yeah. Anyway, 1953. Huh. Oh, yeah. I agree with Eisenhower on this.
1953, Eisenhower condemns McCarthy's book, Burning Proposal.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do not burn books. I don't care what they are. Unless it's well, especially Necronomicon. You never burn that because that might summon a demon. That I'm going by Adventure Time logic, but that's exactly how it will work. If you burn the Necronomicon, then it's going to act. So just leave it alone.
Now, I gotta say, has nothing to do with history, but Eisenhower, I don't remember which year, but he was the president, went from the airport to downtown LA for whatever he's doing here. My dad drugged my brother and I to the corner and watched his limos go by. So I saw President Eisenhower's limos go by.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
How about that?
That's really cool.
Cool.
That is really cool. Well, speaking of Eisenhower and something that you personally know, the loon here. No, I'm not sure if KR would know this. I don't think he was around at that time, but yeah, tell us about 54 here.
1954, President Eisenhower signs the orders adding the words, under God, to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Absolutely. Here you go again. I remember in elementary school having to learn the Pledge of Allegiance over, inserting under God into it.
Yeah,
And now I've lived through taking it out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
There you
right?
go.
Have they taken it out, or are they
No,
still
it's
trying
out.
to?
Yeah,
Is it out?
they took it out.
Wow.
A few years back.
Well, that explains why
Yeah.
everything's gone to complete shit. We no longer, we're always like, God bless America. Well, it's like, well, then keep it in the pledge, you freaking plebs.
But it was, as a little kid, it was hard to put that under God inserted in there.
Yeah, well,
now it's hard not to say it.
Well, once you've been, brainwashed and indoctrinated to say one thing, suddenly you got to change it.
Every day you go to school,
yeah,
you're saying that.
Yeah, I remember when I was in school, very often, because I start off with my hand over my heart,
yeah,
and then throughout the pledge, I salute, and then I back to heart, and back to salute. I did that. I got in trouble for doing that. The teacher was like, pick one, salute or over the heart, pick one. Why can't I do both?
No.
Why can't
so you should have done this.
Actually, I think I did.
Then you would be in trouble because it's your left hand, not your right hand.
I think I started doing that. I think I did. I think I legit did.
I hope you did.
I think I did.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
And then I got in trouble for that, so then I think I was actually instructed to just not do anything. Just stay
Next
seated.
Next step, thumb to nose and wave.
I think
How about this, Teach?
How about this, Teach?
Yeah, how about this, Teach?
Oh, there you go. Had to go there, did you?
Yeah. Too bad my camera's not on. Pretty sure you got...
Oh, it's not good for you. You dodged one.
I wish I didn't. So, anyway, moving on up to 1955, Chile became a signatory to the Buenos Aires Copyright Treaty, which is similar to the Berne, but more consolidated towards South America. So, Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
That's...
Buenos Aires.
Where is Buenos Aires?
Way down south.
But, where down south? What country? Buenos Aires? Argentina, I want to say?
It
is Argentina. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says right here. The capital and primate city. Primate city. That's a weird way to say it. Primate city? Are they inhabited by apes or something?
Primary city, right?
Yeah. Primate, maybe? I'm not sure. That's a weird thing to call it, but yeah.
I do pronounce that primate.
Yeah. 1957, 42 centimeters of rain fell on East St. Louis, Illinois, is the state record. All right.
Well, you heard what's going on in Florida now?
What's happening now?
The whole thing's flooding down in southern Florida. I mean, they've gotten 40 inches in 24 hours and more rain coming.
Wow.
Anyways, that has nothing to do with history, so.
Well, it will be.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But 1961, we have the hottest temperature in San Francisco, 106 degrees. That is pretty warm for there.
For San Francisco? Oh,
yeah. Yeah. 62, Albert DeSalvo, better known as the Boston Strangler, murdered Anna Sleuzers, his first victim. Yikes. Yep. And while that was happening, the European Space Research Organization was established in Paris, later becoming the European Space Agency. All right. So the predecessor to that.
Yeah.
1963, Valery Bykovsky in Vostok 5 orbited the Earth 81 times in 5 days. Wow. So, that must... I mean, it's beautiful out there, but eventually it's just oh, yeah, another sunrise over Earth. Who cares? Whoop-de-doo. That has got to suck. One of the most beautiful things you can ever see in your life. After 81 times, it would get boring.
Yeah, 81 times if anything.
Yeah. So... I mean, what is the actual... I'm not going to look it up, but I'm just wondering, is there, an actual, estimate about, how many times you can see something before it becomes commonplace? And I know that it's differs from person to person.
Obviously, yeah.
But there has to be some, after you've seen something, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, eventually it just loses its luster.
Well, take a sunset. You can watch that every night. However, sometimes it's absolutely magnificent. Sometimes it's unnoticeable.
Now, what I would love to do, and we have the ability to do it today, is I would love to see the sun set twice in one day. And you want to know how you can do that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, you can do that in other ways too. But the primary the primary way in my mind right now, go to the Burj Khalifa. You can watch the sunset at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Go to the top and watch it set again. Now you can do the same thing, from a hill or whatever, if you're fast enough, and there's videos about that and all that stuff. But still, that's pretty crazy that you can see the sunset twice. So, anyway, 1964, drummer Ringo Starr reunited with the Beatles in Melbourne, Australia, after recovering from tonsillitis. All right. So,
he wasn't the original drummer?
No, they brought him in after some other guy. Like,
Yeah.
what was his name?
I mean, I don't remember the other guy's name.
Pretty early too. Yeah.
Oh, very early. Very early.
Well, I thought you were going to tell us their name or
I
something.
don't remember his name.
Original Beatles drummer. Pete Best.
That could be it.
Yeah, Randolph Peter Best.
Because I mean, Ringo was the drummer by the time he got to the States, but they were already popular in the subculture of England.
Yeah.
When they brought him in.
Yeah.
So they had some popularity in England when they brought him in. And I don't know if they just weren't getting along or what the deal was, but some reason they got rid of him.
Oh, you know how bands are, you know.
Yeah.
Like 1965, Cincinnati Reds pitcher Jim Maloney no-hit New York Mets, but lost in 11 innings, 1-0. So, I tried to say 0 and none at the same word, so 1-0.
So no hitter and he lost.
Yeah. That. 1966, Dutch police beat construction workers. 60 were injured. What? Why? Why? Why are Dutch police like attacking construction workers? So, okay, well that's just on this day. Dutch riots. Okay, here we go. That might be a thing
that's
here.
probably it. Yeah.
Yeah. For 2 weeks last week, Amsterdam became the scene of violent riots. Okay, so there's riots and everything. They just came
What
in
year?
there.
Just compare the years.
66? Yeah, it says June 24th, 1966, page 6. And that's 10
That's
days
not
from
today.
now.
That's not today.
Well, that's probably actually, this is probably what caused the riots. Is
Could
they
have,
came
yeah,
in and
no,
they beat
there
them.
you go. That could very well be.
Yeah. 1967, California Governor Ronald Reagan. Hey, Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Signed the Therapeutic Abortion Act, legalizing abortions in the state under certain circumstances, the second state after Colorado to do so. Huh.
Ooh,
All right.
pretty liberal for a Republican.
Yeah. Well, times change, things change.
Yeah. Well, I
Like-
happen to agree with it.
Yeah. Yeah. 68, off-duty Dutch military were permitted to wear regular clothing. All right. That makes sense. If you're off-duty, you should not be representing, your uniform.
Right.
Because if you do something off-duty while in uniform, not only are you making a bad image for yourself, but you're making a bad image for your uniform.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 1973, U.S. President Richard Nixon administration imposed a 60-day economy-wide price freeze, so superseding Special Rule Number 1 for oil companies. So this has to be during the oil problem.
Yeah.
I thought-
Absolutely. I remember this well.
I thought that wasn't until later, 77 or something. Or was it like a 5-year problem? Like,
Well, it was ongoing. I can't give you the exact dates to tell you the truth. But, yeah, when he froze prices, that's a governmentaling again. But that was
Yeah.
his answer, quick fix answer.
yeah.
Because oil was going crazy. Actually, inflation was going crazy, and so he nipped it. This was his way to do it. Anyways, I'm not a crook.
I am not a crook. I had to make a sound because I'm not on video of his jowls wiggling. So, riddled with phlebitis. Let's see here. 1978, Sierra Leone adopted their constitution. All right. And 82, Argentina surrendered to Great Britain, ending the 74-day Falklands Islands conflict. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Britain went in there with the wrath of God. Oh, you're not seceding. Oh, hell no. 1984, Southern Baptist Convention decided against allowing women clergy members. I don't agree with that, but
I don't either.
but when it comes to religion, that's something even more than government. That's
Well, a woman can't become a Catholic priest, can she? Not even today.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't
But they
think
can become saints and martyrs and
True,
stuff
true.
like that. Hold on a second. Can a woman become a Catholic? Can a woman become a Catholic priest? That's a good question. Ordination of women in the Catholic Church. In the liturgical traditions of the Catholic Church, the term ordination refers to the means by which a person is included in one of the holy orders of bishops, priests, or deacons. Okay, but this is not telling me exactly. Can a woman be... Here we go, right here. Can a woman be a priest in the Catholic Church? Well, just give me a yes or no answer.
Yeah, it's one word. Which is it?
Why are you giving me an entire thesis? The impossibility of women's ordination. Okay, so no, I don't think they can.
We're going to have to assume no, but that's...
yeah.
Give us an answer.
Yes or no?
Yeah, it's one word.
Like that's essentially. I just read the visual representation of that one video I was suffering through. You were watching.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm being hunted. Well, then move.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Oh, blah blah blah. Like constantly giving her yes or no questions, and she gives the paragraph long answers to dodge her actual answer.
She gave her ideology.
Yeah. Freaking crap. Anyway. 1988, right? 1988. A woman sued Chuck Berry for $5 million, alleging that he hit her. Well, I have a feeling that she was lying and trying to use, like
$5 million?
Yeah, back then, like
yeah,
she was way too early for the Me Too movement. That's for sure. So, 1989
doesn't tell you what she won or didn't win. Did they settle out of court for $100,000, or did he blow her off entirely and win?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to restart my background music here. But yeah, that requires some research.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to. I'm gonna just continue on. We have some comments actually. Actually, no, that's YouTube. Do we have any comments here on Rumble? No, we don't. Anyway, 1989, a groundbreaking began in Bloomington, Minnesota, on world's largest mall, what became known as the Mall of America.
Yeah.
Which is now essentially a ghost town. So, yeah, all the malls are dying.
Yeah.
So
that always flabbergasted me in Minnesota. It really shocked me. You think it'd be New York, L.A., something like that, but Minnesota?
Well, where were they building in New York or L.A.? Everything's already,
true.
then they have to build the outskirts and build a whole new thing around that.
True.
So... Just if you're gonna start fresh in a brand new slate, Minnesota,
Burlington, Minnesota. And let's put a roller coaster in it too.
Yeah, Bloomington, not Burlington. Bloomington. Burlington is where a coat factory is at.
True.
So, 1989, Major League Baseball Texas Rangers Nolan Ryan became the second pitcher to defeat all 26 teams. Wow.
Yeah, he later became
really
an
cool.
angel.
Yeah. Nolan Ryan, he's the guy with the that's the
fastball.
The fact even his hat looks like it's trying to get away. like look at the angle. It's like
yeah.
Too bad my camera's not working. But
that guy could throw the heat. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. 1989 as well. Ronald Reagan was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II, an honorary knighthood. Okay.
Good night.
Yeah. We also have Zaza Gabor was arrested for slapping Beverly Hills motorcycle patrolman. Yeah, that's assault of an officer. So
not good.
All these uppity celebrities, think that they're above the law. Well, sometimes they're not. No. But what do we have here? By the way, you guys already know I am. It's Nico. Glad to see you guys again. Hope you all are doing very well, very good. Yeah. Hey, hi Nico. Yeah, I'm going to have to talk to you after the show. Anyway, 1990, date of the events in the movie Mr. Destiny. So if you ever saw that movie, this is where...
Not.
I did not either. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 1990 as well, the National League announced plans to expand from 12 to 14 teams for the 1993 season. All right. How many teams are in the National League now? Do you know?
Not right offhand.
Okay. Well... Yeah, let's look this up. How many teams in the NL? National League. Just give me give me a name. Give me an answer.
Yeah.
I don't want to know the history and the entire Wikipedia. Just give me a freaking answer.
Giving you Major League Baseball? What are they giving you baseball for? Did you put the NFL up there? In your question?
No, the NL, not NFL. This is baseball, not football.
Baseball.
National League, not the National Football League.
Okay.
So this is baseball.
Okay, so the National League is only half of the Major League Baseball. American League's the other half. So
Okay.
I don't know how many, maybe 12 teams in the National
It says here the MLB comprises of 30 teams divided equally between the National League and the
15.
American League, with 29 teams in the U.S. and 1 in Canada. So 15. So now it's one up.
But we didn't ask, no. We didn't ask for geography. They're in one of the leagues, whether they're in Canada or not.
Well, yeah, it
says, sounds like 15-15, right?
Yeah, it is. Well, it says comprises of 30 teams divided equally between the National League and the American League, with 29 teams in the U.S. and 1 in Canada.
So what did it expand to in the National League on the original statement here?
From 12 to 14.
And now they have one more.
So now they have 15.
Yeah.
And the American League has to be the one with the 1 in Canada because America is 2 continents comprising of 35 countries spanning the majority of all landmass of the Western Hemisphere of Earth. You know, we're called the United States of America, not America of America.
Right.
You know, so. Anyway, 1990, KR is back. Do you want to take that one as soon as I find it? Here we go.
1990, National League announces plans to expand. Oh, wait, you said that. 1990, Supreme Court rules police check for drunk drivers constitutional.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be drinking and driving, you know, so this is like,
Yeah.
you know, the police checks, what are they called? The stops? Help me. Like,
I lose it for the moment.
whatever. But you know what I'm saying.
Got to be in full support of MAD.
Mutually assured destruction?
No, Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Oh, okay. The double D mad. I
Yeah.
see. Funny I'm talking about double Ds.
You had to go there, did you?
Well,
Oh, good
What
Paul.
what do you expect my brain to do? I'm a man.
And yet the old man didn't go there.
Well, you may be pervy, but then you're not quick-witted. So, I'm pervy and quick-witted. So, yeah.
The old double D.
Well, who knows? I could be talking about Ed, Edd n Eddy. You don't know. You know? I think I already ousted
Just scroll, would you?
Yeah, what do we got here?
1991, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, opens, directed by Kevin Reynolds and starring Kevin Costner and Morgan Freeman.
Ah, all right. That's another movie I have yet to see. So,
I can't remember, but I sure know of it.
Yeah.
Maybe I saw it and just can't remember. I don't remember.
It's a good spoof.
Is it a good movie?
I believe so.
Good spoof movie, you know.
Oh, okay.
Makes fun of Robin
I
Hood.
haven't seen it.
kinda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's
Sounds like it should be a spoof movie.
There's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and then there's, of course, the National Lampoon.
Oh, wait, no, wait, no, never mind. I'm thinking of
Men in
Men in
Tights.
Tights, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, there's National Lampoon's Men in Tights.
Yeah, that's right, that's right.
Yeah. Let's see here. 1990. Okay, yeah, we got it. So Mona, here we go. Okay, this is interesting.
1992, Mona Van Doy is named first female U.S. poet. I don't know what that word is.
Laureate.
Laureate.
And like, you know, most nations, like especially first world ones, has their poet laureates. The poet laureate constitutes in poetry to the Library of Congress, commonly referred to as the United States Poet Laureate, or the USPL, the USPL, serves as the official poet of the United States. During their term, the poet laureate seeks to raise the national consciousness to a greater appreciation of the reading and writing of poetry. So someone in charge of, like, you know, poet stuff, literature and all that. And I like that position.
Yeah.
It seems superfluous, but, you know, it has its own little, you know, needed thing. Like, anyway, a good old RBG. Want to tell us about her?
Ruth Bader Ginsburg is introduced by President Bill Clinton as his nominee to the United States Supreme Court in a Rose Garden ceremony at the White House.
All right. And she was good, right? Like, you know, the people...
She is obviously a liberal,
Yes.
but a common sense liberal. She followed the
Yes,
Constitution.
she had
I tip
our
my hat
common
to her.
sense.
Yeah, she's one of the few, outstandingly few good ones. Like, unfortunately. So... But we unfortunately, like, my bad here, I missed over here, 1992, Ozzie Smith broke Roy McDonald's National League mark by taking part in his 1,305th career double play. That's, you know, wow.
I also think he broke the stolen base record for a year, too, beating out my beloved Maury Wills from the Dodgers. I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Huh. Well, I'm going to avoid saying the joke that's on my mind. I'm going to move on up to 1993. Tansu Siller appointed the first female premier of Turkey. Hey, a Muslim nation. A female leading a Muslim nation. That is unprecedented.
No, I know. Yeah.
Like, why is this not highlighted? That should be highlighted. You know, like this. Like,
Yeah.
like that is astounding. So,
Of course, back then they weren't that Muslim.
oh,
They-
okay.
You know, they aren't. Turkey was not then what it is today as far as its
Well,
religion. backed government.
I don't know because
Way
like.
different.
Well,
Way different.
I mean, yeah, they are way different in action, but as far as Muslim nation, they were a Muslim nation since they
but not-
conquered it.
Yes, but not
When Istanbul,
governed
yes.
by, the Quran and so forth, like they are now.
Well, don't
Really?
forget the Ottoman Empire, which was centralized in Istanbul, which used to be known as Constantinople, the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. It was a Christian nation, then it got conquered by the Muslims, and then that formed into the Ottoman Empire. They fought in World War I, they lost, they got dissolved, and became, what's left of them was known as Turkey. So, yeah, they're a lot more extremists now, but they've been a Muslim nation for for 1,000 years or so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That I don't know. Yeah, but they've been in a Muslim nation for a long time.
Yeah. So. Anyway, we also have 1996 Cable Guy starring Jim Carrey was released, and I add that to movie night, and I actually want to.
In its own way, that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
It's not an all-time great or anything like that. It's just kind of a good movie.
Well, I remember when it came out.
Entertainment movie.
I remember when it came out, like when I was in school and all that stuff. Like some of the other kids were hooplawing about that, and I never got around to see it.
Yeah.
So wasn't he like some evil guy or something?
He's just a weird guy. He was a cable guy. He installed cable TV, and he does a favor for this guy, and then he expects to be his best friend, and he's just too weird.
Oh, I thought he was like installing secret cameras in people's houses while he was doing, installing their cable. I mean, I don't know.
I think he did weird stuff. I don't remember the whole thing. I only saw it originally a long time ago.
Huh.
I'm just kind of remembering the basis of it. Like I say, it was a fun movie to watch at the time, but not memorable by any stretch.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's have King bring us up into the next millennium. We only have 24 years left. Hey, look at that.
2002, The Bourne Identity, directed by Doug Liman and starring Matt Damon, is released in the U.S.
I
Well,
wonder
Good
which
movie.
one that was.
The Bourne Identity, the first one.
That is the first one?
Yeah, I believe so. Like,
I guess it would have to be.
well, let's look it up.
Bourne
First
Identity
Jason Bourne movie.
Supremacy or something like that. Yeah, you're right.
The Bourne Identity, yeah.
Yeah, it is the first one.
But,
I thought it would have been in the 90s. Huh.
And I'm just going to say, King, you mispronounced his name. He's supposed to be Matt Damon.
Where's that come from?
Team America, World Police.
Oh, okay.
Because they had Matt Damon's character, he can only say his name like that, Matt Damon. Like that was all he could say, because they weren't trying to make him like seem stupid or mocking him. But the true reason why they had him come across as someone critically suffering from some kind of mental deficiency, was because his puppet face looked all dopey. So they're just like, oh, well, he looks like an idiot, so they just make him an idiot.
Okay.
And even Matt Damon himself, the actual guy, was like, what the hell? How come my guy? Everybody else,
Why me?
Ben Affleck, Alec Baldwin,
Me.
like all the people can talk eloquently and no problem. And then you have Matt Damon. All he can do is goes, Matt Damon, Matt Damon, Matt Damon. They turned him into a mentally deficient Pokemon. Poor guy.
Kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
Why me? What the hell?
What the hell, guys? Trey Parker and Matt Stone. What the hell?
And this is why you make history fun.
Matt Damon.
Okay.
Well, actually, I just gotta play. Hold on a second. Like Team America. We gotta watch that movie. Like, hold on a second. Oh, here we go. Every Matt Damon scene in Team America.
America has once again pissed off the entire world after blowing up half of Cairo. And now some Hollywood celebrities are lashing out. Alec Baldwin is head of the Film Actors Guild.
The Film Actors Guild believes that what the world needs is compassion, not violence. All the
Explain to you how this
well, we're not
works.
gonna catch
You
it.
see,
So-
No, we're gonna catch it.
corporations finance year I went to Iraq. Before Team
No.
America showed up, it was a happy meeting.
great.
Already
Yeah.
expected to attend are Helen Hunt, George Clooney.
Oh, here we go. Here it is.
Liv Damon.
Matt Damon.
Hold on a second.
Damon.
Matt Damon.
In the mean,
Yeah. You can't hear it that well because the volume is really low and I have it on max. But yeah, like that's all he says is just Matt Damon. Oh, here we go.
actors ho! Helen Hunt.
Samuel Jackson. Matt Damon.
That's a better shot.
Yeah.
That's a better shot.
Matt
yeah.
Damon.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He's going, what the hell?
What the hell, guys? How come I'm the
That's
only one?
what's funny is that line. That's the funny line. What the hell?
What the hell? Anyway.
I don't know why that cracks me up.
Anyway, 2001, we skipped over this unfortunately, but we have China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan form the Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
That's all Stan.
Yeah, Stan the man. So, and do you know why all these countries are, are called Stans?
I do not.
Jeff, my last, former friend Jeff, who studied Arabic and everything. He told me that's like, or actually, let's look up. What does Stan mean in Arabic? Not Arabic. Stan has the meaning of a place abounding in, or a place where anything abounds as a suffix. So it's like the place of. It's like Kazakhstan, the place of Kazakh. Afghanistan, the place of Afghan. So.
Okay, that makes sense.
But anyway, what is the Shanghai Cooperation Organization? Is a Eurasian political, economic, international security and defense organization established by China and Russia in 2001, as it says right here. It is the world's largest regional organization in terms of geographic scope and population, covering approximately 80% of the area of Eurasia and 40% of something else, yada yada, of the world population. Holy crap! As of 2021, its combined GDP was around 20% of global GDP. This is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, look at the map right here. That is, right here. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. Huh. Anyway, what else do we have here? 2012. Here we go. KR?
2012. The world's first stem cell assisted vein transplant is undertaken by Swedish doctors on a 10-year-old girl.
Whoa. So repairing her veins with stem cells.
Wow.
Huh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Here we go.
2013, massive flooding occurs in northern India, killing up to 10,000 people.
Wow. You got to remember though, India is vastly overpopulated country. Like a lot of countries are. Like India, Russia, China, Japan, Mexico. It's all over the place. Yeah. It's unsustainable. But and you get to talk about a hero to humanity, Edward Snowden.
Yeah. 2013, the U.S. government charges NSA leaker and American hero Edward Snowden with violating the Espionage Act and theft of government property.
Things are screwed up when it's illegal to broadcast the illegal things the government is doing against its own people.
Not unusual.
It's like, hey, I have evidence that you're spying on us. Oh, well, I have evidence that you're going to the gulag. It's like, well, I guess we're the Soviet Union now. So, yep. Anyway, what else do we got here? 2014, 49 people are killed after a Ukrainian Elysian IL-76 airlifter is shot down.
Ooh.
Huh. And it has to do with Ukraine, and that was still during Obama's reign. So that's must be when Russia was taking over that one area, or just gave that one area to Ukraine, and it was causing the issues now. Like, remember?
I'm trying to remember. The reason why I'm hesitating is I remember this incident, and they shouldn't have been flying over. There should have been like a no-fly zone. It got mistaken for military craft.
Yeah.
I can't remember what was going on in that area to cause that. I can't remember that part of it.
There was some war or something going on with Ukraine and Russia back then, and then for 4 years, miraculously, nothing was going on. And then after that happened, we had this shaky old guy take office, and now we're at now. So, 2015, Jurassic World, the first film to make $500 million worldwide in its first opening weekend. So, in its opening weekend. So the first film to make $500 million globally in its opening weekend. So that's, despite Jurassic World being just a crap, just let the past be the past. Stop eating the member berries. 2016, 2016, we have the first mammal made extinct by human-induced climate change announced. The Bramble K. Melamines from towards that's garbage. Liberal propaganda. Let me just take that out right
How
there.
can you know that it's human induced?
Well, because they're trying to make they're saying that in order to push their agendas. So that's why I took it out of the script. That's just liberal propaganda right there. But speaking of liberal propaganda, KR, you get to talk about good old Feel the Burn here.
Oh, 2017. Yeah. He could be from that age. 2017, Bernie Sanders supporter opens fire at Republican politician practicing baseball near Washington, D.C., injuring 4.
Wow. Now that's
Oh,
an
wow.
asphalt.
That's when the sniper shot the Republicans practicing for the for the Democrats and the Republicans played a baseball game every year. And I think the Republicans were practicing before the game, and the sniper specifically went there because they were Republicans.
Yeah. Well, you know,
one guy almost died. They saved him somehow.
I mean, like, it's very fitting for, an agent of the left to do something this heinous. It's just...
Well, there's all kinds of nuts on all sides.
There are, but most of the nuts are more on one side than the other. So, anyway, what do we got here?
By the way, just a note, they just had that game this year. Republicans won 30-11. Just a footnote.
Yeah. Well, we beat him
I just heard that like yesterday.
As we do in the polls, we beat him in the fields. So, yeah. Anyway, is this a tower that didn't collapse and everything? Like, there was a... Hold on a second. Let me look this up here. Greenball Fire and Greenball Tower Block, London. Let me look up this image as you're reading. Oh. It's KR?
I'm sorry. 2017, fire in Grenfell Tower block in London. England kills 79 and injures 37.
Now, is this the same one? This is the same one. It's this fire. It's this tower fire. Remember that one?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't
boy.
remember it at all. No.
Oh, wow. No, people were comparing this to 9/11 and saying, oh, well, how come this build... No, they were saying because it didn't collapse.
Oh.
Like, it's just, pun not intended, but graciously appreciated. It added fuel to the fire of all the conspiracies of 9/11. That, like, you have all this fire. Like, look at the damage.
Yeah.
How come it didn't collapse and the towers did? It just adds to the theory that they were controlled demolitions, which I'm a subscriber to that, to that.
Well, you got to look at a lot of things. You got to look at temperature of the fire compared to the temperature there, and more importantly, you got to look at how they were structured.
The entire building went up, dude. Like,
how was it constructed? And the towers, in hindsight, had a lot of flaws in the strength of it, which allowed it to collapse on itself.
Yeah.
And come down.
But is that real science or is that gobbledygook?
Well, I don't know.
Like,
I'm just telling you what.
Yeah.
What you have to look at. It's just
Yeah.
why didn't this come down and why did that? You can't say
Yeah.
1 equals 1.
True, but it's still, like, it's that is a massive fire.
It's huge.
Yeah.
No, I have no recall of that. No.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Shame on me.
This was big news.
It had to be.
Big news, especially because of the 9/11 correlation, because
Yeah.
that added to it and added more that stayed in the news and stayed as a current event because of that.
Huh.
So yeah.
What year was that again? 17?
2017. Yeah. We have another 2017 here.
2017, U.S. Senate approves new sanctions against Russia as punishment for meddling in the 2016 election.
Huh. Yeah, of course. But there's one before it here, 2017. Lero Varadkar, formerly elected British or Irish Prime Minister, the Taoiseach, in Dáil ceremony in Dublin, the youngest Irish Prime Minister at the age of 38, and the first openly gay. So, all right, cool. But yeah, let's go back to this Russian thing. Like, of course, like, just shaking our heads, laughing at this. Like, why did they go after a certain, like, wife of a former president who sold half of our uranium deposits to Russia? Oh, that's all right. Yeah. You want to talk about collusion? So
Yeah.
yeah. But what do we got here in 2018? Yikes.
2018, Malaysia's national debt reassessed at 250 billion, up from the previous estimate of 170 billion, 80% of the gross domestic product.
You can't get out of that. Like that's death. You're dying. Like how?
Yeah.
Death spiral.
Yeah. Yikes, Malaysia, man. Oh.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting close.
I mean, like, what was the article that we covered like last show on Wednesday? Like about it was like Zimbabwe, 38 trillion Zimbabwean dollars is equivalent to $1.
Yeah,
dollar.
$1.
Like some astronomical number. Like holy crap, dude.
You can project out. You know, you can go online and ask the question and project out. Don't do it now. When our debt service, in other words, the interest we pay, will be more than the money we bring in. There is that point in time we're going to hit.
Yeah.
You hit that, you can't. All you're doing is paying off debt.
Yeah.
Nothing else. You can't pay for anything else.
Well, we were watching a video. KR, you remember this last night? We were watching a whole video about like the debt and the gross domestic product and all that stuff, and then how like everything was raising, and then at one point, like they opposited each other, but then they bounced right back, and then everything's going the wrong way.
Yeah.
Clinton was the last president to have us debt free. He didn't clean up the debt. He didn't get it down to zero, but I mean, he didn't add to the debt for I don't know how many years.
Yeah, and that's interesting for a Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually they're all about.
Was it with a Republican House?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, but
It takes all of them.
yeah, but as you always say, which is 100% true. What is the government addicted to?
Opium.
And what does that stand for?
Other people's money.
Yep. He's saying OPM, not the drug opium. He's saying OPM, other people's money. And that's why, they just throw money around because it's not theirs, So, but what do we got here? 2018, this one here.
2018, Malaysia's national. Oh,
We
wait.
got that one.
2018, U.S. government confirms 1,500 boys being held separated from their parents in Casa Padre shelter facility for illegal immigrants in a former Walmart in Brownsville, Texas. Gee, I wonder who's watched that happen under and who is actually blamed for it.
Yeah. Well, Obama's the one who set up all of those children in cages things, and then of course they blame Orange Man for that. It's like that was their boy Obama who did that, But of course, he skirts blame. So, 2018 as well, the U.S. Justice Department concluded that James Comey was quote-unquote insubordinate in his handling of Hillary Clinton investigation in 2016.
That's a kind way to put it.
Was that involving the phone and all the stuff that she destroyed?
Yeah.
And everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, here we go again.
All her stuff was subpoenaed by the Congress. Now, we have people going to jail right now today that
still rotting in jail over the January 6th thing.
Well, no. That were subpoenaed by the House to come in and they went to jail. She destroyed evidence that was subpoenaed to give to them
and got off scot-free.
Did nothing to her
because she's on the right side of politics.
And she's blatantly breaking the law.
Yeah. Well, I didn't mean the right side, but she's on the side of politics that's convenient.
Protected politics.
Protected side. That's a better word. Yeah. What else do we got here? 2019 petition to create the world's first quote-unquote time-free zone on Sumaroi Island, which has complete daylight for 2 months, delivered to the Norwegian Parliament. How can you make a time-free zone? That doesn't make any sense. Time stops?
I don't know. That must have some meaning to it.
The petition to create world's first time-free zone. Well, Pete's, look it up. Let us know. What is? Let me look it up here. What is a time-free zone?
It just is what it is. There is no time.
It just says time zone. Huh? It gives me a time zone, but I want time-free. Oh, here we go. What is a time-free zone? Every summer, the island of Sumaroi experiences continuous daylight, with the sun not exceeded to set for this year's season until late July. to take advantage of the never-ending daylight and to make up for the sunless winter months. This Norwegian island wants what is known as a time-free zone put in place for the summer. This concept essentially means that on the island, modern timekeeping would not be used at all during the summer months.
That's
So,
kind of what
so that sounds like chaos. Like
I'll meet you at 5. What the hell does that mean?
5 years? Like
Yeah,
oh, I'm gonna look. I need to look more into that. That is an interesting
it's
concept.
kind of odd, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Just because it's data all the time. Yeah, how do you get people to work on time or whatever?
Yeah. 2019 as well. Swiss women hold a national strike over the country's slow pace towards equality. I mean, I would join them. You know,
Yeah.
like there needs to be equality. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on up into 2021. Sir King, some sports history.
2021, Cristiano Ronaldo removed sponsors Coke bottles from his press table at the European Championship, prompting the company's share price to drop 4 billion. Wow.
Yes, let me give them a.
Dude removed a Coke bottle.
I remember that. That was a whole thing. That was in response to, I believe, Coke's "Be Less White" memo that leaked.
Oh, yeah, they deserve that.
Like Coke was becoming known as a, get woke, go broke type of thing.
That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah. And so in response, he's just like, I don't want to be supportive of a freaking prejudice company. Like,
Well,
like literally, like on camera. Like, hold on a second. Cristiano Ronaldo Coke bottle. Hold on a second. Here we go.
so a little note to everybody out there: you can be woke and annoying and not be racist.
Yeah.
Of course.
Let's see if we can find it. Here we go. Yeah. So yeah, here's Cristiano Ronaldo on the right here. Yeah, look at that. He literally just moved them off of the camera.
Yeah.
This guy's still a shill here. He holds up water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, this is what people need to do. They need to start, like the whole thing. Oh, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Well, eventually, enough is enough. You gotta bite. You know, like how much BS are you gonna take before you stand up for what's right and risk your livelihood? Like this is what I've been saying. Like the saying, the going gets tough, the tough get going. We are now at a time in history where people have to make major life-altering decisions that will hurt them greatly for the real greater good. If we're going to get better as a society, we as individuals need to start taking stands anywhere we're standing. Anywhere we're standing, whatever we're doing, we have to start taking big hits, because if things are going to change, we got to make the change. It's sitting on our laurels waiting for the government to change ain't going to do shit. It's only going to get worse, So, this guy, Cristiano Ronaldo, however you pronounce his name, is now one of my personal heroes just for doing that, because that's what needs to be done. So, anyway, 2021 as well. What do we got here?
2021 heat wave begins. Heat wave event begins across western U.S. and Canadian states, with Denver at 101 degrees and Helena 105.
That's pretty hot. Oh.
Yeah.
And then moving on up into 2022, Denmark and Canada agreed to split the Arctic Hans Island, ending their 50-year Oh no! The whiskey war's over. Damn it. I'll talk about that here in a second, but ending the 50-year whiskey war, where each country laid claim by buying whiskey on the island. So essentially, what happened was every year it was a tongue-in-cheek thing. So like Canada went to that island and then raised the Canadian flag and left like a bottle of whiskey there, and then Denmark came and then took the Canadian flag down, put up their flag, took the Canadian whiskey but left some Denmark whiskey, and it was a tongue-in-cheek war. It's like, this is my land. No, this is my land. No, this is my land. Here's some whiskey. Oh, I'm gonna take your whiskey. It's over, man. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can find a short video about that. Yeah, here we go.
I like Canadian whiskey, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't know about the Denmark whiskey. You haven't had that.
How the Ukraine war gave Canada and Denmark a border. Okay, well that's something else. But how Canada just got a land border with Denmark.
You're right there.
Whiskey war. There you go.
The whiskey war, every year. So This is
You
not
explained it. You explained
Yeah,
it.
explain.
It was
It's
cool.
it's a really nice tongue-in-cheek little thing.
From 73 to 22, they ended it
Yeah,
after 50 years.
man, I wish it
Someone's
was.
not getting their whiskey now.
Yeah. Moving on up to 2022 as well, we have the first controversial UK flight to take asylum seekers to Rwanda canceled after last-minute legal ruling from European Court of Human Rights of, quote, real risk of irreversible harm, end quote. So, UK flight to take asylum seekers to Rwanda canceled. So they're going from Britain to Rwanda? Why would people go to
I don't know.
Rwanda?
But that's what it sounds like to
Huh.
me.
So maybe that's why it was canceled. That's weird. Anyway, 2022 as well. Last part of the world's longest floating restaurant, the Jumbo Kingdom Seafood Restaurant, left Hong Kong after 46 years, sunk 4 days later near the Parcel Islands. Huh. So was that the McDonald's? The floating McDonald's is now gone? Like, I don't know.
Going back to the Rwanda thing
Yeah.
very quickly,
Yeah.
it may be that they were being exported by the government
Huh.
and back to Rwanda, and then the
Oh, the
and
Wokies were
they
against
came in
that.
and said, "Wait a minute, that's unusual punishment
Ah,
because they're sending them back to their country of origin."
but that's from the UK.
Yeah,
They don't have the cruel, unusual punishment law that we do.
no, I'm just guessing.
Ah.
I'm just saying that makes sense.
It does sound like a
If they
leftist
were
thing.
being exiled out of the country back to their country of origin, and the legal system came in and said, no, that's cruel and unusual punishment because they'll probably be killed or jailed or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know. Moving on up into 2023, an overcrowded fishing boat, fishing boat carrying refugees and migrants capsized south of Greece, killing at least 79, with an additional 104 rescued, but hundreds more feared dead.
There's
Oh.
that huge migration going on.
Yeah. So. We also have fossil bones found in Tampaling, the cave of the monkeys, Laos.
Cow?
What? Oh, he's
What?
mumbling to himself.
Sorry.
Dated to 86,000 years, are oldest known examples of modern humans, Homo sapiens, in Southeast Asia. Now, there's a difference between Homo sapiens and Homo sapiens sapiens. Because we are Homo sapiens sapiens. Like, this is something I learned. Like, difference between Homo sapiens and Homo sapiens. This is what I was told. Human. Okay, well maybe what I was told was BS because I'm not seeing Homo. Oh, here it is. Difference between Homo sapiens and Homo sapiens sapiens. Homo sapien means the wise human. Homo sapiens sapiens are the subspecies coming from Homo sapiens. They comprise modern humans only. The scientific name of humans is Homo sapiens sapiens. Homo sapiens sapiens is a definition of modern Homo sapiens. The subspecies is said to have been distinguished about 160,000 years ago, who apparently moved to different continents based on archaeological research and findings.
So they're saying we are actually a different species.
We are a species, a subspecies of a primary species, which in itself is another subspecies that goes on and on. It's fractal.
Okay.
You know, the great family tree, you know? Like, you know, there is you know, before Homo sapiens was Homo erectus, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
was when we
whatever
were
it is,
first as a species, primarily walking on our hind legs, not on all fours.
Well, then I want our own name. Don't just duplicate me. Homo sapiens sapiens. I don't like that.
Well,
Give me a new name.
how about Dunderhead?
Perfect. Homo Dunderhead.
Homo Dunderhead.
Sounds perfect.
Huh. Anyway, we have two more articles here. Mr. King, would you like to take these two and then we'll wrap this up?
See, 2023, an overcrowded fishing boat carrying refugees.
that.
Oh, you
Yeah.
read that one, right?
Yeah.
Which
The last two,
okay.
phosphates
All right,
and benchmark. No worries.
2023 phosphates discovered in Enceladus, the moon of Saturn. Last of essential building blocks of life found there. Other carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, raising possibility of extraterrestrial life.
Whoa. So we might have,
The soup of life.
well, we might actually have extraterrestrial life in our own solar system. Like, and not just talking about Io, if that's the right one, or Europa, one of those moons that is ice and might have living creatures in water ice, in liquid water, way under the ice. But you know, if all the chemical compounds are there, now all you need is water and heat, you know.
Yeah.
And if there's geothermal activity, you got the heat. There's water, you know. Is oxygen and hydrogen here? Did it say that? Hydrogen and oxygen, that makes water. So now you just need heat. So there you go. Anyway, and last but not least, what do we got?
2023 benchmark experiment by IBM quantum computer manages to simulate a magnetic material working around previous problems of quantum noise.
Wow. That I am having a trouble grasping that, but it sounds like taking control of things on an atomic level magnetically. If I'm correct. So now we are essentially God. Like you can.
That's above my pay grade. What they're getting at.
Essentially, what this is maybe willing, you know, or being able to, with magnetics, dematerialize, like the holodeck in Star Trek, you know, or like the food processor or replicator, I believe is what it's called in Star Trek. Like that, like what it does is it takes molecules and changes them because atoms make up everything, you know.
Yeah.
So if you can change things on the atomic level and alter, you know, like what they are, you know, subatomically and all that stuff, then you can turn this toilet paper roll into this water bottle and make it drinkable. Like it's a building blocks of life. It's just how things are made. Essentially, they're the stem cells of the universe. So, anyway, that shall conclude the show. Once again, please check the underbar description for links you may be interested in, including but not all things linked to Omni Coalition. For your dose of past events daily, we stream almost every day at 11 in the morning Pacific time, which is 12 noon Mountain, 1 Central, and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. And as of now, the schedule is Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is when we're going to be having our shows. Now, I'm still going to say almost every day because that is almost every day, and eventually I'm going to start doing shows in the open days as well. But we have other shows here. We have this history show that we just did. We have the news show, which is coming up actually in a couple of hours here, the Omni Coalition News Show. Weird, odd, unusual, notable events, weather, and sports, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. The Edge of Disclosure, UFOlogy Paranormal Conspiracies, you know, show, Sunday at 3 p.m. We're aiming to, you know, bring that back. The Omni Coalition show, the talk show, you know, a talk show about whatever, both planned and spontaneous, on Moon's Day and Monday at 3 p.m. We're also still working on the Omni Kitchen and iNosh. Actually, we were supposed to do iNosh today, right? But Ghostery isn't feeling too well today. She has some food poisoning, unfortunately.
Aww.
So
That's not good.
yeah, get well soon, Ghostery.
Get well soon, Ghostery.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, if you want to catch us live, you know, it's if you're on the West Coast, it's 11 and 3 all for thee. Mountain 12 and 4, watch us for more. Central 1 and 5 for the Contrive, and East 2 and 6 for your fix. For all of you and all of us, I am Xander.
King's Refuge.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, of course, are you. Thank you very much for watching, and until you catch us again, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodly woodlies!
Deuces.
Stream nice.